I could give you endless times that imposter syndrome has threatened to stop me from building what I'm building, to stop me from building my brand, to stop me from going after opportunities, or even taking opportunities that came straight to me. I can give you so many stories, but let me give you this one. So recently, and as recent as like 3 weeks ago, this year I had a goal to begin to start doing more public speaking. Now, sitting in my office, I get one and get two messages saying, "Oh, we have a community of business people. Could you come and just speak to them about personal branding?" And immediately, sirens start going off in my head. It's like, who do you think you are that you can talk to a community of people who are already building about personal branding? What do you think happened? It's a fluke. I got so many negative voices in my head, but because I was able to I can recognize imposter syndrome when it's coming a mile away. I immediately arrested those thoughts and I thought to myself, listen, these people, I didn't pitch them. They found me, they reached out, they asked me. And that got me thinking maybe it's time to do an imposter syndrome video, because a lot of times, and because there are a lot of personal brands popping up now, you look at the people that are putting things out and you think that they don't get to battle the imposter syndrome that you get. I talk to a lot of women in the course of my business, from clients to peers to mentors, and most of them just tell me how they deal with the imposter syndrome, not that they never get it at all, which is what we're talking about today in this video. Now, to battle an enemy, you have to completely understand that enemy. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is that voice in your head that makes you feel like you're a fraud when you're amongst people who also do what you do, or amongst people whose respect and regard you desire. This is where you're like really doubting yourself, really doubting your accomplishments, thinking that you're lucky as opposed to you are experienced in that thing, thinking that the opportunities that come to you are a result of luck and not that you actually deserve those opportunities. That's imposter syndrome. When you're in a gathering of people and you're scared that people will realize that you really don't know what you in fact know. The crazy part is you wouldn't even be in that room if you didn't know what you did know. Imposter syndrome is not rational. You really just forget all of the work that you've put in. You forget that you in fact did the work that it took to get into that room, or for that opportunity to find you, or for you to even have access to that opportunity. So, first, what you're going to do to battle imposter syndrome is to refuse to let it paralyze you. When you're on a mission, when you have a project and your personal brand is a project, set out the goals, set out the vision, set out what you're going to do to bring that vision to life. Put everything down in writing. When I work with my clients, one of the first things they get is a brand Bible. It's a compass. This is where we're headed. This is what we're doing. This is what's going to be done so that we can achieve that vision, so that we can get our brand to that place, so that we can get you those opportunities. The first thing you want to do is set that out, be clear about where you're trying to get. Now, here's why: the actions that you're going to need to take to get where you're trying to get should not depend on whether or not you are feeling like. When you create that vision, you're probably in a good place for you to even be able to have that vision. You're excited and you believe that you can reach there. If you have this in writing, if you have it down, if you have a personal brand guide, what that does is that it shows you the actions to take whether or not you are feeling great about yourself. And then you make sure that your actions are not dependent on whether you feel qualified or not. You're just going to be following the plan. But sometimes, I admit, imposter syndrome can be paralyzing. What I always recommend is that you have a brag list. Yes, have a brag list. Every time you accomplish something, even if it is something little, write it down so that when imposter syndrome hits and tries to tell you that you're a fraud and you're not qualified or deserving of the opportunities that come your way, look at your brag list. There will be nothing there that will be a lie, because you were writing them as they happened. Keep a brag list, keep a win list. For the next 6 months, commit to writing down every time you get something right, every time you achieve something, every time you accomplish something, and you will soon have a large store of proof that you actually have what it takes. The second thing to do is to resist comparing yourself to others. Everybody is on a different journey. Everybody is in their own lane. You can be solving the same problem as the next person and you will still not do it the same way. You could have the same experiences, the same opportunities, the same educational experience as somebody else, but you will still not have the same purpose. Everybody has an individual calling and an individual blessing on their lives. And the fact that we have to build our personal brands on social media means we have to also watch other people build on social media. I admit that. You on your own then have to guard your heart and guard your mind. You have to constantly remind yourself that your mission is unique to you, that your gifts and your talents are unique to you, that the solution you're bringing is unique to you, that the people that you're here to help are unique to you, that the space that you're supposed to take up on this earth unique to you. So there is no comparison. The only comparison is between you of today and the you of yesterday. Forget what everybody else is doing. People have different timelines, people have different frameworks, people have different roads. So you just do you and do it for as long enough a time as you need to for you to see your purpose be brought to life. Now, another thing I personally did when I found myself really comparing myself to people is I left their space. I realized that when I was feeling negative feelings about myself when I interacted with some accounts, it wasn't about them. They weren't doing anything, they didn't know me. But somehow, for my headspace at the time, I was triggered when I saw them showing up. So, what I did was I removed myself from their space. A number of them, I went back to follow them when I had reached a place where I was stronger in my mind and I was stronger with my brand and I was stronger in my purpose. But I removed myself from their space when I found out that I was reacting negatively to what they were putting out. I'm going to suggest that to you as well. If you are feeling like you cannot help but compare yourself to the people that you see online, maybe you should follow new people. Now, don't isolate yourself. When you're building, and this is going to be for a very long time, allow yourself to go with others. One of the main things that I realized, because I'm an only child, so I've been alone for most of my life. I've been used to doing things alone. But when I started building a business, building a brand, I had to learn people skills. I had to learn that there are people that mean well. I had to learn that if I wanted to go far, I needed to go with people. And so I became deliberate about building my community, about building my circle, about showing up for others and allowing them show up for me. So don't do it alone. You don't have to. Find a community of people who are also doing what you're doing. And if you cannot find a community or you don't feel comfortable entering communities, build your own. Start being the person that you need for other people, and they will in turn be that for you. If you're looking for a space to share struggles, you can create that and then invite others to share their struggles. But I highly recommend that you find a circle or a community of people who are also trying to build like you are and who can share ideas and who can support you, who you can reach out to and say, hey, I'm feeling negative feelings about myself. I've gotten this opportunity and I am feeling like I should play with it, or I'm I'm feeling self sabotage rise up within me. I can see that I'm supposed to make this call or I'm supposed to put out this content, but I keep procrastinating. I just wanted to share. And that person, because she is building as well, will recognize imposter syndrome. You, when you see her going through it, you will be able to support her through it as well. Now, sometimes imposter syndrome's basis is that we have not learned enough, is that we have not done enough in truth. Not that we are nothing and we don't have anything, but sometimes I realize in myself that I have done the most I can with what I know right now, and that's how I can tell that it's time to pursue another learning course or it's time to just upgrade myself or refresh my mind. And one thing about brand building is that you will continuously find something new to learn. Positioning yourself as a leader is committing to contributing to the lives of your followers. And when you have poured out everything that you have to pour out, naturally you will start to feel like you don't have any more. That is why it is important to continue to refill yourself even as you pour out to others. So, finally, I will say that to ensure that imposter syndrome doesn't get the most of you, keep learning, keep pursuing opportunities, keep listening to the podcast, watching the YouTube videos, following the industry experts, learning, learning, learning. There is so much for you to give, but there is also so much for you to learn. And the more you learn, the more you're able to look imposter syndrome in the face and say, hey, listen up. I know this thing. I have done the work. I have put in the time. I have put in my 10,000 hours. You're not going to come and tell me that the results that I have gotten, I have not really gotten, or I did not deserve, or were by chance. When we put in the work and we maintain the proof, we will be able to fight back at these feelings of inadequacy. Now, sometimes you just don't want to do it alone. Sometimes you just want to do it with somebody else. I do have a few one on one sessions that you can book, or you can just book a free call with me so that we'll know which of my programs or which of my products will do best to help you build the brand of your dreams. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're returning, you're welcome back. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join the community. Now, let me know in the comments, how have you battled imposter syndrome and which of these things is going to help you moving forward? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.